In today's episode, we're going over the top selling master plan community in all of Houston. It has great inventory and availability to build. It has some of the best affordability and it's tied to one of the top school districts in all of Texas. Is it perfect for you? Is it too good to be true? We'll get into all of that in today's episode, but if that sounds good, stay tuned. So if you couldn't tell by the intro, today we are in Sunterra and the category for the day is options. As I turn around this beautiful community in Katy, Texas, there are a ton of options. I think there's something crazy like damn near 25 builders out here starting in the high 200s and going on up to as high as you want to go, but tapping out somewhere around 600,000 at this current moment. And there's just a ton of options here from a builder standpoint of entry level all the way on up to luxury. We're going to go and check out a couple of them that are my favorites, and we're going to go and check out the amenities. We're going to talk about some of the cons here. Let's get started. And so first up today, we're going to be checking out History Maker Homes. They are one of my favorite builders in this community. They typically give you a lot of bang for your buck and they give you some pretty solid finishes. They also are typically running some little specials like this where you see this 3.99% interest rate on inventory homes. They're one of the best to do it in the market when it comes to that sort of incentive. So let's go in here and check it out right now. Let me know what you think. So what did you think about the olive plan by History Maker Homes? I think it was a super nice layout for one story. You know, I like big one stories, and this is kind of hitting that sweet spot of around 2,300 or so square feet, give or take. Nice finishes, nice quartz countertop, nice vinyl plank throughout the home. Super gorgeous options. And they're also doing some money towards closing costs, appliances, all kind of stuff right now. So definitely one of the reasons why you would want to be considering new construction in a time like this. So the question that is often asked is, Aaron, can I come out here and do all of this by myself? Why do I need an agent to come out here and do new construction? Seems pretty straightforward. And my immediate answer to that is yes, but you would be doing yourself a disservice. And I have a great example of why that would be a disservice. In this community, if you go to sunterratexas.com right now and you do just a few scrolls, the first thing that you're going to see is featuring Katy ISD, which is one of the reasons why this is a top selling community in all of Houston right now, because Katy ISD is just well known as being a super great school district. However, if you came out here and assumed that all of these builders in here are in Katy ISD, you would be incorrect. In fact, a large portion of these builders out here are in the neighboring old original country town of Royal ISD. And so you would come out here thinking that you're going to get a brand new home in Katy ISD, super affordable, super luxury, all the amenities, and you would be wrong about the school district, and it's something that is not actively publicized to you. However, with me knowing this area, knowing this community, I understand that a lot of these communities north, or a lot of these sections north of Stockdick, where we are right now, are in fact Royal ISD. Now, is Royal ISD a D-rated, C-rated, F-rated community district? No, it is not, but it is not in any way, stretch, or form Katy ISD, right? And so the question would not even come up, because you wouldn't have someone representing you in that transaction to even know that that's a question that needs to be asked, just based off of their website alone. So the number one reason why you got to have someone representing you in a transaction for new construction is the information, and just making sure that you're above board, and that the builder's above board with everything that's going on, and that your interests are being looked at. At the end of the day, it's all about making sure that you're getting exactly what you want. And coming out here for a community that's publicized as Katy ISD, and a large portion of it isn't in fact Katy ISD, would be a red flag, and something that you probably wouldn't catch by yourself. So up next we have Chesmar. We're going to go check out their 50-foot offering. They have been doing a crazy job for my clients as of late, doing that happy medium of good quality as well as affordability for the size. When you typically compare them to other builders at the same size footprint, they typically beat them on price. But let me know what you think about this 50-foot one-story offering here. This one is a lot of one-stories. I've seen the comments, and a lot of people are saying I don't show the realistic one-story kind of houses, and right now we're going to beat you over the head with them today in this Sunterra video, because a lot of the models are that. But let's go and check it out inside and let me know what you think. Ceilings throughout. So what did you think about that beautiful Chesmar home? I think that they do such a great job, man, and I can tell you why they can get so low when others are struggling at the same price point to get as low with a full-on design center appointment. One of the positives, in my opinion, is when you have a builder that will let you kind of pick stuff on the spot, it gives you an opportunity to know exactly what you're going to pay at that moment of contract, right? So with a lot of my favorite builders, Highland Homes, Perry Homes, all of those people included, you'll have a base plan, and then you'll have to go to the design center if you decide to build that thing out, and there's a 50% deposit. So if you go in there and you spend $50,000 on upgrades, you have to have your earnest money deposit, and then you're going to have another $25,000 ready just for the finishes on the house that you selected. When you go with a product or a builder like Chesmar, in that last segment video I just showed you some of the finishes that you can pick here, you know exactly what it's going to cost to have those exact carpets, tiles, countertops, everything that you want and selected in the house. You're going to know what the price of that is without any guesswork in the home. And so that's definitely a pro. Now, they aren't going to have the same flexibility, they aren't going to have the same customization options as a Highland Home, as a Perry Homes, or any of those other premier builders kind of in the community, however, or in the area. However, you're going to know without any kind of doubt where you're standing when you're writing that contract up with a Chesmar versus some of the other builders, or being forced to go completely all inventory where you have no choice at all. So that's one of the reasons why I love Chesmar in the market right now. All right, next builder on the list, we have Castle Rock. They are another one of those builders that have eluded me in the Houston community. I've never done a brand new construction home with them. I've done a couple resale Castle Rock homes, but never a brand new construction with them. They always have super pretty model homes, but they're just one of those people that sometimes get slept on. But I think that you are going to love this one when you see it. Let me know what you think. They had a gorgeous model in Marvita that was just chef's kiss, and they sold out of that thing so fast that I wasn't able to barely even show that thing. However, this is another gorgeous model. This is their 60-foot product. They also have a smaller product here. They're going to have price ranging from the high twos up to about 600,000 here. But I want you to take a look at this one and let me know what you think. Loving what I'm seeing so far, guys. Great finishes. Super pretty. All right, so that was the first floor. Super gorgeous. I think I counted. So the primary. Then we had bedroom there. Office here. So I got 2 down and an office. Let's go check out what upstairs has to offer. Super pretty so far. Oh, gorgeous. All right, so what do you think about that gorgeous 2-story plan by Castle Rock? And I don't think you will believe how much they have that same house in inventory for right now. Standard 3-car garage, not the 2-car tandem. That home right now in inventory is ready to go for $485,000. 485,000. Crazy finishes, kind of similar to that, not as crazy as that, but it's a great inventory option. If you want to know more about that one, hit me up in the comment section down below and we can come out here and maybe take a tour or anything that you want to know. Tell Miss Lisa I sent you. She'll remember me. She remembered me from YouTube. And as we walk to the next model home, the next thing that kind of comes up is, hey Aaron, if I go by myself and sign without a real estate agent, don't you think that I'll get some sort of deal or get some kind of a lower price? And the answer is surprisingly no. I understand that, you know, you would think that if they didn't have to pay me to help you, then they would give you some sort of a deal. But many of the contracts out here actually read as though the builder and the builder sales team is going to get a bonus if you don't come with a real estate agent. So it really truly only hurts you and incentivizes the builders to do whatever they have to do to get you to close, because they will get an added bonus if you don't come with a real estate agent to protect your best interest and look after you. And I say it like this: yes, you can always do all these things by yourself. Yes, you could technically do your taxes by yourself. Yes, you could technically give yourself stitches. Yes, you could technically represent yourself in a court of law. But when something really is important and something really matters and the chips are down, you're going to outsource that to someone that has a specialized knowledge. And I would argue that buying a new construction home is exactly the same thing. It's not the same as a standard Texas resale purchase. The contracts are different. Everybody's contracts are different out here. All of these builders, I've closed with all of them, and they all have different verbiages and things that they say and clauses that they have in their contracts. Some have different contingency clauses. Some have different penalties for being late or delaying the closing. It's all very different. And all of those are things that you shouldn't have to worry about as the buyer if you have someone representing you. So reason number two to get someone to represent you and be on your side is that you're really just incentivizing the builder and the builder sales team to get you across the finish line by any means necessary if you don't have someone to be a buffer for you in the transaction. So we got another builder on the list that I've sold a resale of, but never a new construction home of. We got Beazer. They're one of those builders that I'm starting to see more and more in these big sort of developments where they used to be kind of standoff and by themselves, kind of like a Pulte would be back in the day, and I'm starting to see them pop up in these really big master plan communities like here, Bridgeland, so on and so forth. So they're a super nice builder. They have, it looks like, a large variety of single story options here. I think they have some 2 stories as well, but all of their models are all going to be single stories over here, and we're going to go check out one of the ones that I think is the nicest one by them, and I'll give you some incentives and pricing and all that stuff when we come out. Before I forget, Castle Rock. Right now, they're doing a 5.49 on inventory homes. If you were to build ground up, they would use $25,000 to go towards closing costs or incentives or design, however you want to use it. But if you were to go the inventory route, instead of giving you that as a flex cash, they're going to use that to pay down your interest rate to get you a lower rate than you would see in the market right now. But let's hop into this Beazer home and let me know what you think. My daughter Chandler would love this room. All the Disney princesses. So 2 things confirmed in that one. First off, incentives are still insane out here. They're doing 5% towards closing costs right now. So you can use that to pay down your interest rate or just knock out all of your closing costs. We can probably reduce some of the price here as well. They're going to fluctuate anywhere from
probably like low threes to about 400,000. With their full collection here, they do have a couple 2 stories. This is going to be the Quintetta plan, and this is going to be probably on their nicer side of things that they have. One thing that was actually confirmed in there was I was in there and I wasn't trying to overhear their conversation too hard, but they were having an issue with construction. And one of the grouts that were selected, and this kind of thing happens in construction, so I don't want to single them out like they're bad actors. One of the grouts that a client paid for, they paid for a white grout. The construction team actually installed a gray grout. And so another reason why you want to have someone on your behalf is to kind of mitigate some of those awkward conversations as well, and to be there to say this is what is realistic, this is what we can do, this is what is feasible to either compensate the buyers for the mistake. That sort of thing happens in new construction all the time because it is the last like man-made thing that we have. And I can say that they were very agreeable. They were super helpful. They're going to have the buyers come out here to re-examine with the gray to see if they like it. If the buyers don't like it, they're going to take the brick down and do it again, which I think is admirable. But I will note that their agent wasn't on that call with them, and so that was a direct to homeowner conversation that could have gone a completely different way. Now I'm glad that Beazer in front of me show their true colors and show that they're a good company that's willing to super help their clients get to the finish line and be helpful. But I've definitely overheard things go the opposite way. And so just kind of to drive home that point, you definitely want someone on your side that can tell you what is realistic, what is a construction nightmare, what is not even possible to do at this point in the game, just to take off some of that stress from you from issues that can occur like this in new construction. And as we go to the next set, it's getting hot out here, but the next thing that's really got me hot and bothered is the fact that you haven't called, you haven't texted me yet, you haven't sent me a comment saying, hey Aaron, you're my favorite channel, I want you to be my agent when I move here. You haven't booked a call just to strategize about one of the most important moves of your life and of your potentially your family's life. And that's kind of got me hot and that's hurting my feelings. So I'll wait, I'll give you a couple seconds. Also hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We're doing episodes every Friday, giving you the good, the bad, the ugly, discovering and dissecting all these lovely luxury and new construction master plan communities around Houston, and I don't want you to miss out. But it looks like we are at our next destination, so let's go and check it out and let me know what you think. I like this plan. This looks like similar to that plan that I showed from Meridian in the 55-foot section, or 55 plus section in Meridian. It kind of has a similar flow to it. It's pretty. Let's go check out upstairs. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. That was the Provost plan, super gorgeous by Tri-Coast Homes. They're one of those builders that are kind of popping up in these type of communities and doing really pretty model homes and pretty options that are having comparable floor plans to the big boys out here. So they're getting very close to those Highland Homes, Westons, and all of those people. They just don't quite have the same luxury clout from a search standpoint as those other builders, and I don't quite know why, because they have some really pretty products. They are doing buy downs for interest rates and closing costs, whatever you need. They are zoned kind of like Beazer, and I forgot that was the second thing that I confirmed in the Beazer home, is that they are all Katy ISD for Beazer, and it looks like Tri-Coast Homes is all Katy ISD right now as well. So again, remember, that's one of the key points that I brought up to you earlier, is the information. Is I know for a fact if we hopscotch a couple houses down, all of these people in the middle here are in Royal, or mostly in Royal. The second thing that I want to tell you a little bit on that information tip is, for all those people that don't maybe necessarily want a DR Horton or don't want a Lennar home, the next phase of this community is going to be largely those two builders. They have a lot of land that is just north of here, north of Stockdick, and the two biggest purchasers of those remaining lots from the developer have been Lennar and DR Horton. So if you wanted another builder and you wanted to be in this community, now is pretty much the last little stretch of a year or so before all of these builders kind of sell out of their section, because as it stands right now, the biggest purchasers of that next section and that next phase of land north of the amenity center that we're about to go and check out right now is DR Horton and Lennar. So just another nugget, again, some information that you wouldn't have, that's not on the website. They're not telling you that on sunterratexas.com. This is from having the relationships and having the knowledge of this area that you would get with having an agent. I'm done giving myself plugs for the video today, but I just want to impress upon you the importance of it, of coming out here not by yourself and making a huge purchase by yourself. Last but not least, we got a Weston home on here. If a community has a Weston home, I have to go and check it out, just because y'all love them so much. As you all know, Weston is no longer doing dirt bills. They're doing all inventory basically throughout the entire market. And so we're going to go in here and check out this one, and let me know what you think. Beautiful first story. Let's go check out the second story of this Weston home. They have two sections. They have one that is in Royal ISD, and they also have some that are in Katy. You're going to pay a little bit more of a premium to be in Katy ISD, but the Katy ISD section here is gated. So something to differentiate between the two sections for Weston. If you want gated, you want Katy ISD, you're going to pay a little bit more. All the incentives are kind of cooked into it right now. That's just kind of the standard for Weston Homes right now. But let's go check out story number 2. Classic Western Rotunda. Texas game room, media space. I already know that Dana's gonna have something to say about this one. I'll wait for that side text. Peekaboo on both sides. Fan looking like it's about to fly away in here. So that was the Ellicott plan, somewhere around 600,000 right now, give or take, Depending on the section that you're in, you can get a little bit lower and get a little bit more incentive off. There is some room to negotiate a little bit more, but the way Weston's doing it right now, it's all inventory. They're picking out really nice finishes, and then they're giving you 30,000 off for that location, 60,000 off for that location. So it really just depends on what you want. The floor plans, they have a wide variety of high twos to upper threes on their floor plans that they're offering right now in inventory. But again, I know the disappointment with a lot of the Weston homes right now is that you can't do ground up builds, but that is the way that it is in all of Houston right now. Just since COVID, they've shut down on all dirt builds. And before I go and head over to the amenity center, if you have a community like this one that has a welcome center, that is a great place to start because they can kind of give you a general overall of all of the amenities and things that are coming or that they already have and sort of breakdowns of the community. Now, they will not have updated pricing for that. You need to hit your boy up so we can go and talk to these builders one-on-one. But as far as the overall amenities, layout, future plans, commercial, all of the things, the big overall picture of what this community is going to have, the Welcome Center is going to have that, and that's a great resource to start with. And I typically bring all of my clients here before we get started on the touring day. Now, I've been here going on 3 hours now, and that I've just scratched the surface. There are so many more builders here. We didn't see Empire, we didn't see Pulte or Syntex, we didn't see Highland Homes. There are so many builders that we just didn't cover just because there's so many people out here. There are so many people out here adding to the affordability and to the availability out here that it's hard to take it all in one day. And in fact, every time I've ever bought a buyer out here, they've kind of been overwhelmed because it's just so many people to see, and they all kind of service around the same person until you get to the upper price points of the builders that are only building for that kind of move up buyer. So like your Weston Homes and so on and so forth, the people that are going up into the 60-foot sections. But everybody else is basically servicing the same first-time home buyer sort of client for the most part. And so when you come out here, especially if you're going to be out here this summer with me, we need tons of water because I'm out here. I can already tell you that I've probably lost 5 pounds out here walking just today. So now we're about to hop on over to the amenity center, and we're going to talk about what they have currently here, and then the one elephant in the room that has probably been on your radar as one of the amenities that's supposed to have been coming, that should have been here probably 2 years ago now, that they're claiming is going to be here in 2025. We'll talk a little bit about that one as well, but let me know what you think about these amenities when we go and check them out here in a second. And so the pool is the current amenity that they have open. As you can see behind here, there is your gym in there. You probably got a little bit of a glare. I don't know how much you can see. So I'll probably come back out here to do an update video when it's done. We got a little bit of an event pavilion over here as well. But a ton of amenities coming on this section. Don't know how much you can see in there. And now we'll go and check out the pool. But super pretty. I can see what they're going for. We got pocket parks over there, kind of similar to the ones that I showed in Bridgeland for their latest section. Beautiful pool. Looks like we got a lazy river in here as well. So it's super gorgeous. And they just opened this one, I want to say a few weeks ago. They were trying to get it ready for an event, and it's just super gorgeous. And so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We'll keep walking around and talking, but we can't be out here and not talk about the blunder, the big oops that so many people that have already bought in this community were waiting for, which was that crystal blue lagoon that they have been promising for about 2 or 3 years now. I mean, the very first video that I did on this thing before everybody kind of broke ground was them saying, you know, Blue Lagoon coming soon. Blue Lagoon will be here by the fall, right? They made so many promises, and they are just starting to break ground on that thing. And right now, the biggest push is saying that it'll be done by 2025. And of the people that have been here since 2022, 23, whenever this opened, a little bit earlier than that, for the people that have been here since then and have been waiting for that, the promise that they're making to y'all is that it's coming 2025. Whether or not that happens, it is remain to be seen. But for what you get right now, you still have a gorgeous pool, still have a great event pavilion, you do have your own gym, you have everything that the big luxury communities have, and it's at an affordable price. And it's at a price that often those big luxury communities can't compete with. But there's some unknowns with that, like the Blue Lagoon. Will it ever come? Will it ever finish? Will it be the size that they promised you? Because I've seen some renderings that have changed where the size of that thing has gotten a little bit smaller and they've added some other elements to it. But that's a con in new construction in general. Until the thing that they promise you is in the ground and you can actually see it, it can change pretty much at any time. And that's not new to this community. That's a possibility with all new construction communities. Whenever there's an amenity that they promise you, until it's finished, you don't technically know what that thing's gonna do. The developer can change their mind at any time. Now, the goal of them is to give you something that is comparable so you don't feel like you've been slighted, but the exact thing that they promised you doesn't always happen. And we'll see what happens with that Blue Lagoon. Just like we'll see what happens with the rest of the school zones. Just like we'll see what happens with the rest of the bills in this community, whether or not they do end up in fact being the remaining D.R. Horton and Lennar, like we talked about earlier, right? There's so many things that you don't know with new construction, but the one thing that we know right now is that people are coming in here and buying these houses like hotcakes. People are loving this community. We have some great amenities that we can see right now. It is tied to Katy ISD. The tax rate right now is like 3.2 to 3.3. The HOA currently is about $1,100. Now, when that lagoon actually gets here, will that probably go up? Statistics would say probably yes. But for right now, you get a gym and all of these things, walking trails and lakes, for about $1,100, which is super low in the metro. So there's a lot to love, and I can see why this place is a top contender and a #1 seller around Houston. When you have great school districts, easy access to interstates, you're in a great location, and you got a lot of availability, it's no secret why Sunterra is the #1 selling community in all of Houston.